a sunny and hot Thursday afternoon. I'm in Northeast Ohio. Dustin is in, I don't know what corner of Tennessee. Is it Northeast? Is it Southwest? Do you even know?
I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Bull. Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Do you know what part of the state that's in? Do you have any idea? I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I know we're close to Georgia because I went through Georgia for, I don't know, a mile last night as we were driving to we had dinner last night at this place called River Dance. Okay. And it was like top of this mountain. I'm going to send you a picture, dude. It was the top of this mountain overlooking the Tennessee River.
Nice.
And just watch sunset, had this beautiful dinner. Like, dude, the mountains down here are absolutely gorgeous.
Right.
And I mean, it's just a really cool town. It's Chattanooga is right on the river. And it's really, you would laugh about this. I got a good story for you from last night.
Yeah.
So Chattanooga is in the Eastern time zone.
Right.
But everything around us is in the Central time zone.
That's funny. Yeah,
the story, I guess it goes back to like way back in like the 1800s. Apparently the people that owned the New York Times also owned the Chattanooga Times.
Okay.
and they didn't want the newspapers to be in different time zones. So that's apparently how Chattanooga is in funny. The So anyway.
By the way, Chattanooga is in the southeast corner.
Yeah, dude, I'm literally like miles from the Georgia border.
Yeah.
So we're way down here. Way down.
It's also close, not that far from North Carolina either. I mean, it's
correct.
Not as close as it is to Georgia, but you know. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway. Give you a little geography lesson. Dustin's doing a huge high school football game. We'll talk.
Top 20 matchup.
We'll talk a little bit about it right at the end of the podcast. But we begin with not a football game, but a football practice. Talking about practice, but it's a little more than that. It's a joint practice. Browns-Bills going on right now here in Cleveland, and take us back to what that's like when you've been practicing with your guys for a month, and now you get a chance to practice, but you get to hit. Obviously, you still can't hit the quarterback, but it's a lot more physical and often can lead to fights.
Well, I will tell you this much. These practices are as intense, physical as a game. In some ways,
really?
Maybe even more physical than a game. Yeah, because there's the competition is just it's just really ramped up. And you think about this, like in a game, you're running like just plays, up and down the field. Practice, like you get opportunities to do one-on-ones. The one-on-ones drills in these practices are probably some of the most intense battles that you could ever be a part of. I remember, I'll take you back to 2006. Well, I think both years actually. I was with the Minnesota Vikings, and we had joint practices with the Kansas City Chiefs back then. And Herm Edwards was the coach of the Chiefs. At the time, Mike Tice was the coach for us, and then the next year was Brad Childress. But anyway, the practices were insane. I remember when we went to the one-on-ones. So for me as a DB going up against the receivers of the Chiefs, I mean, there's no flags. Put it that way. Like in a game, you're going to get called for holding and PI and all these things. Like, no, it was basically a street fight. As they try to get off the line of scrimmage, and obviously they're running routes and the quarterback's throwing balls on air. But it was some of the more memorable moments I've had. There's fights. There's always fights.
Yeah.
And coaches don't even care. I mean, they don't want anybody to get hurt, but they definitely want to see the physicality step up a level. And it definitely does. It definitely does. And then obviously you're going to get into the team periods and you're going to run plays and all that stuff too. But I just think from like the individual standpoint of the one-on-one battles for me as a DB going against the receivers, obviously that's one thing. But imagine how intense and physical it is in the trenches, Bull, when you got guys who are, like Jared Verse will be going up against, their top tackles.
Deion Dawkins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an old head there, but
Yeah.
but no, I mean, it's one of those things where the coaches really look forward to it, and it's a great opportunity, and it's a reason why, on Saturday they're talking about, hey, we may not play our starters. Talking about the
Right.
Browns, Todd Monken said that, like, because the guys are going to be worn out, and if they practice at the level that they expect, and they show and they execute, then they're going to be able to get that day off, and because they're going to need it. This is going to be an intense practice.
Yeah, I think you mentioned the line play, and that's what really stands out because in regular practice, like there's just so much you could do on the line. It's like, but now like this is a real challenge. And G. Bush brought up a good point on UCSS today. It's like, and Zach made a similar point. It's like by this point in camp, the defense on the Brown, obviously the Browns defense is way ahead of the offense. It's much better. We knew that. But they also know what the offense is going to do. Whereas you're playing Buffalo, obviously a much better offense.
Yep.
But you don't know what they're going to do. So it's more of a challenge. And the Browns offensive line is not great. So this is, seeing Jared Verse and some of these good young players on the Browns defense getting a chance to battle a Bills offense that should be very good. I know they don't have the greatest receivers, although they did get DJ Moore.
They did.
And he'll be going some one-on-one with Denzel Ward. So, I'm excited to see some of the highlights today of what happened. I think it's interesting. I wonder your take on this. Zach made the point that maybe the reason they decided not to, like the last time they did a joint practice was with Philly 2 years ago. And whichever team kind of lost, like the first day, the Browns kind of hung with the Eagles, and then the Eagles took it to them on the second day. And the second day is often when there's maybe more fights because the team that got beat up the first day maybe gets frustrated. So maybe that's why they avoided the second day. I don't know. Did you do a 2-day one when you did it or?
I feel like ours was just a 1 day.
Okay. Yeah.
If I recall, I mean, it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But no,
old.
I mean, the 2-day thing. Yeah, I am old. The 2-day thing is definitely something that you bring up a good point.
Yeah.
The coaches will, obviously, if you got your ass kicked on the first day,
they're
going to go back, they're going to show the film, and they're going to, you basically have like a 24-hour window between the next practice where they're going to piss you off and tell you how, they're going to call out your manhood, if you will.
Right.
And then you're going to go into that practice and the guys they're going to let loose. And obviously there's going to be a range of emotions and physicality that oftentimes leads to those altercations, if you will.
In terms of the quarterback situation where we're at right now, I know everybody thinks that Deshaun Watson's the starter. Maybe it's not 100% set in stone, but it's close to it. Shedeur and Deshaun are splitting first-team reps today. Shedeur is going to start the second preseason game. As you mentioned before, the Browns, Todd Monken said that they're not going to play. They're probably not going to play the starters on Saturday. If right now Deshaun Watson is supposed to play the second half on Saturday, if he doesn't play, is that an indicator that this is over and that Watson is definitely the starter? Or not necessarily?
I mean, I certainly would read the tea leaves on that and feel like what you're saying is probably true, but there's no way to know exactly, like for sure that is what it is. But I think you're probably reading it properly. And honestly, I feel like right now, based off of everything we've said and seen and heard, it sounds like Watson's probably going to be the week 1 starter, barring an injury. Or some sort of, I don't know, like massive upgrade in performance by Shedeur over the next week.
Yeah,
I think it would kind of almost take a miracle, I think, at this point to not see Watson start week 1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if Shedeur outplayed Watson by a mile today in this joint practice and maybe played fantastic against the Bills second teamers, because I assume we'll see the Bills second teamers in the first half of the actual game Saturday, maybe, but it does feel like obviously, things are trending in favor of Deshaun Watson and not Shedeur Sanders starting the season. And the Browns, there are some positives though. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the defense, but I got to tell you, I mentioned this earlier. I'm curious your take. I am more excited about the upside of the Browns' talent at wide receiver than I have been in forever. I mean, they had Josh Gordon for a minute, and he was great. But outside of that, and we were obviously excited in a different way when Odell and Jarvis were here. But like you have three, I'll throw in Bond, but especially the two guys you just drafted. So far, so good. Again, we haven't seen them play a real game, so until that happens, we don't know. Who knows how good they're going to be. But the arrow right now is pointing way up on both the top 40 picks at wide receiver that the Browns drafted.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, these guys obviously have made plays thus far in practice and certainly in the game last week as well. We saw certain flashes from these guys, and I just think that it's going to be a different season from that standpoint. Like just having skill position guys that aren't just slapdicks, essentially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got some real playmakers there on the outside that I think will develop and continue to get better and better and better as the season and the years go on, frankly.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do they have somebody that can distribute the football to them accurately and on time and all those good things? I think that certainly, Watson should be able to play much better than he has in the past when he was healthy in Cleveland because the weapons. They're better. Now they're young, and those guys are still going to make mistakes, and there will be drops. But, I mean, come on. Like Jerry Jeudy, we're not going to be relying on Jerry Jeudy anymore to be the number one guy.
Yeah, Jerry,
which is a good thing because when you think of Jerry Jeudy, what do you think of? I know what you think of because I think of it too.
Drops.
Yeah, 100%. I just don't think that that's going to be a conversation that is going to be at the forefront anymore unless obviously he has a big drop in a game. But I think that our main targets are going to be obviously KC, Boston, Fannin. You're going to have some of these other guys. Obviously, Judkins is going to make a lot of plays too out of the backfield, but I just don't think Judy's going to be the main guy anymore. Like he's not going to be a guy that's relied upon to make big time plays and to show up every single week. If he makes a play, great.
Yeah.
Glad to have you here. I mean, he made a king's ransom from the Browns and hasn't really done jack squat.
Yeah, 100% true. Yesterday on UCSS, I created quite a stir.
Oof.
Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
So I said that when the season's over, the best case scenario. Now, when I say the best case scenario, I mean realistic. Obviously, the best case scenario is Shedeur Sanders turns into a great quarterback, the Browns win 12 games and win the Super Bowl. But I'm living in reality of what's likely to happen. And based on the most likely results for this team, I said the best thing for the Browns is to finish with the worst record. Like I'd rather them finish 3-14 and have the first pick in the draft than finish 6-11 and have the 8th pick in the draft, which seemed pretty obvious to me. But obviously everybody, a lot of fans, especially Shedeur fans, lost their minds, loser mentality, blah, 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 blah. And I get it. Listen, if I were coaching the Browns, I don't want the team to lose. As a player, as a coach, I'm not saying you'd want to lose. In my opinion, this team is not likely to win more than 5 or 6 games. And so in a perfect world, you see progress from the young players, and yet ultimately they lose enough games to get the first pick in the draft. And while not a guarantee, the best chance to get the best quarterback in this draft. But obviously people went nuts. What's your thoughts on that? Am I crazy?
No, I don't think that you're crazy. What say the best case scenario one more time?
I said that they have the worst record at the end of the season because they get the first pick.
That would you'd have Arch Manning next year,
right? Is he? You think he's definitely won 100%?
Yes.
What about Dante Moore?
I'm sorry.
Arch is definitely the man.
I mean, I'm sure Dante's going to be a great player, is a great player, all these things. I mean, just the things that I hear about the Mannings and what I've seen from Arch and the amount of pressure that's on that family and the fact that he's been able to go through the obviously some peaks and then some valleys and then kind of back up. Like, I don't know. I think you guys will all have a different tune as we get through this season. Right. I think Arch is going to have a really good year for Texas.
Who do you think? Who do you think? Let's see. Of course, I forgot to sign into the Athletic on my computer, so I can't look at his list. I was going to look at Dane Brugler's quarterback rankings as of right. Isn't there another kid, a guy who's transferred like 2 or 3 times, who's getting a lot of hype right now? I can't think of his name.
There's Lenore Sellers.
Lenore Sellers, yeah.
But at South Carolina.
Right, but there's another kid who I'd never heard of before. I guess he had a really great season for a smaller school last year.
Oh, you talking about Drew Mestemaker?
Maybe that's it. Is that the kid
like? The kid from North Texas, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that was him. I can't remember now. But there appear to be a lot of quarterbacks. But you know what? We thought that last year too. But, yeah, you're probably right. Arch Manning is ultimately going to likely be the first pick in the draft. Although, is it a guarantee he comes out after this year?
I mean, no, it's not a guarantee. I mean, obviously, you've got guys that are making millions of dollars in college, and like you're getting paid millions of dollars to still develop and get better.
Yeah, and he's going to make a decision that's like he's not going to make a decision just to go. He's not even if he wasn't making that kind of money. Is obviously his family has money, so I assume like he'll make the best decision for him. We shall see. One other thing on football before we move on, but it has to do with youth football. Apparently, I just found out today, G. Bush was telling me that his nephew and your son are on the same team. I said to G, how could your son be playing for your nephew play for Glen Oak? Isn't that the rival there? But he's okay. I
wouldn't say that they're rivals like Massillon McKinley, but certainly I think the McKinley rivalry is more. It's almost like bigger for us at Glen Oak. We've got a chip on our shoulder at Glen Oak as McKinley's been more dominant throughout the years in athletics. But no, his nephew's a beast, man.
Is he?
He is a
at 8th grade?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, he definitely looks like a college player.
Oh, really? In the 8th grade?
Dude, I
mean, he comes from obviously both. For those who don't know, obviously everybody knows G. Bush looks like his size. His brothers, have you seen his brothers? Both of his brothers?
I have not seen his brothers.
Yeah, I've met his brothers. They're both huge. Also,
okay.
Well,
I mean, his nephew Caden Jackson is an 8th grader, and he just again, I mean, he's young and he's going to. I think it's just like his first real year of playing some tackle football. So he's like getting used to the physicality of it. But man, like just in his uniform, I walked into practice, like the first practice I went to a few weeks ago, and I was like, holy cow, this guy looks like Reggie Bush. Huh. Like a miniature version of Reggie Bush. Obviously he's not that size, but he's got the visor on, the back flap. I mean, just his jersey's rolled up, he just looks and he's very athletic, obviously. But no, he's going to be a player, I think.
Yeah, a couple other stories that I wanted to hit on real quick, and I want to get to the Cavs trade. Did you see this girl in a Little League World Series? 2 stories from the Little League World Series. There's a girl pitching for a team, I think in Alabama, I want to say. You heard about this?
No.
Yeah, she pitched. What did she do yesterday? She pitched 6 innings. Faced 23 batters, only 5 more than the minimum, threw 56 strikes and 81 pitches, and allowed just 1 hit in the game, which is so impressive.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then congratulations to the Bayonne, New Jersey Little League team. That's where I was living before I moved to Cleveland, was Bayonne. I don't know any of the families or any of the kids, but that's where I lived for 5 years before moving here. And they beat the Pennsylvania champs yesterday, and they're in the winner's bracket at the Little League World Series. This kid hit a walk-off homer for Bayonne to
dude, how cool is that?
Yeah. I mean, that's just incredible. So anyway, all right, let's get to the Cavs. Obviously, until yesterday, it had been a uneventful and frankly horrible offseason for the Cavs. They didn't get LeBron. They didn't get any better. Yesterday, they make a big trade. It ends up being a 5-team sign and trade deal. Only in the NBA do they have these wackadoodle trades like this. The Cavs end up trading all in Max Strus and a 2031 first-round pick, which is unprotected. They get Peyton Watson and Cam Whitmore. Peyton Watson is the big name here. Peyton Watson will turn 24 in a few weeks. Had a breakout year for the Nuggets this season. He averaged 14.5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block per game. And in the 14 games that he played without Jokic, he averaged over 22 a game in those 14 games. I'm told he's an excellent defender. I don't know enough myself, but he's an elite corner 3 shooter, which is a nice thing to have when you're playing with Harden and Mitchell. Excellent defender, good scorer, good shooter. Doesn't create his own offense, but he doesn't need to when you have Harden and Donovan Mitchell. As I mentioned, they also acquired Cam Whitmore, who's, guy who I guess will play a little off the bench. He's a 6'6" small forward. This past season, his 3rd year in the league, he averaged 9 points, 3 boards. He played 17 minutes a game for Washington, so he'll be part of the, bench mix. We'll see. But what do you think about this trade by the Cavs?
I think it's a good trade. I think right now it's a B. Like they finally made a move for a legitimate 2-way wing that can be a legitimate starter. I think, obviously he has to develop into a legitimate player. Like he can't be a role player. He's got to be a legitimate 2-way player that's going to fit this nucleus.
Yeah.
And if he does, I think it certainly helps this team. And they paid a premium for him, but I think you had to at this point. They've just kept acquiring these guys who were just like undersized. They had like one skill as opposed to someone like him who can obviously score. He's long, he's athletic, he's young, and he can play defense. So like all those things are a positive. So, you strike out with LeBron James. That was,
right.
Whatever. It is what it is. It's over now. That ship has sailed. But they paid this guy 4 years, $88 million on the contract, which is pricey, obviously. But Dan Gilbert has a big checkbook, and it's not our money, so who cares about that? But at the end of the day, I mean, this could be a really nice pickup for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I didn't know much about him before a couple of weeks ago, but Mikey McNuggets.
I didn't either.
Yeah, but Mikey McNuggets has been talking him up a lot, and I heard our boy Anthony Lima this morning talking about him. I know he's a big basketball guy too. And so, listen, am I over the top excited and think the Cavs can win a championship? No, but they've gotten better, and they have a legitimate big wing, which they haven't had since LeBron left. So obviously he's nowhere close to LeBron, but he's a good player, and there's potential for him to be a very good player. Apparently, I just like the fact that he averaged over 22 a game without Jokic makes you, and he, obviously here you have a number of good scorers, but there's obviously a lot of potential in his game. So,
well, and the one thing too is last year was a pretty big leap for his 3-point shooting percentage. It went up. Right. If that continues to go up, or at least stay where it was, I think that would be a big time coup for the Cavs, because they need shooting too on the outside,
right?
To go along with that defense and that length that he brings.
Good point. Top of the 5th at Progressive Field, the Guardians lead the Giants 3-2. Guardians scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning. Unfortunately, haven't scored since. Jose Ramirez got an RBI single to score Stephen Kwan. Nathaniel Lowe had a sac fly, and Patrick Bailey had an RBI single. Willie Adames hit a 2-run homer for the Giants in the top of the 4th, and the Giants are batting now in the top of the 5th. There's 2 on and 2 out for the Giants in the 5th. For Gavin Williams, he's gone 4 2/3. He's allowed 3 hits, 3 walks, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. He's at 80 pitches, I think. 80. So he'll probably
80 on the button.
Yeah, he'll hopefully gets it out here, gets out of this inning, and then can get one more inning. We'll see. Guardians really need to win this game. They won the first game of the series. They lost at just a brutal 1-0 loss. They're shorthanded. They already had, obviously, offensive issues. Hoskins goes on the injured list. DeLauder's missed the last 2 games now. Joe Adele's missed the last 2 games. They're both banged up, and so they're shorthanded. But it's now or never. I mean, you're in a stretch of playing 12 games against the 4 worst teams in baseball. The Giants, the Rockies, the Angels, and the Royals. They're all dreadful. You cannot lose any of these series. They've got to win at least 8 or 9 of those games. They're 1-1 so far. Got to win today. Don't blow this what was a 3-0 lead, now 3-2. So hopefully they'll take care of business this afternoon as the game is going on right now. Before we go, you're starting your football slate with ESPN, but not in college.
Yeah.
His first game, we referenced it briefly at the beginning of the show, but you're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, to call a high school football game between two of the best teams in the country and one of the best, well, a lot of great players on these teams, including one running back that you've heard pretty crazy things about. Huh?
Well, if you are a fan of doesn't matter, football in general, American football, you're going to know who DGG is in a couple of years if you don't already. David Gabriel George is running back here for Baylor School, committed to Tennessee, chose Tennessee over Ohio State. Recently, it came down to a lot of things. It doesn't really matter at this point, but like this guy is everyone I've talked to about this player is the generational talent, like a LeBron James type of player. If he can stay healthy, like we'll go on to be a first round draft pick. You know, this guy is he's a monster, dude. Absolute monster. He's French, by the way. Speaks fluent French.
Yeah.
His English is not that great. He's from Canada.
Okay.
Transferred here a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And has really just done everything. The coach said to us, and this coach has coached at every level. They won a state championship last year. By the way, the team they beat in the state championship, Brentwood.
Yeah.
That's who they play tonight. So it's a rematch of the state championship game. Literally, they played in December. It was a 4-point game. Baylor won. It's rematched tonight. So Brentwood returns like 15 starters. They've got a bunch of dudes. They got a receiver who's going to Tennessee, who's a top 20 player in the country. They have a linebacker who I don't know if you remember, dude, back in the day. But this linebacker, Kevin Simon was his father. Yeah. Played at Tennessee, was a draft pick, played in the NFL for a little while. But anyway, a lot of players all over the field. Listen, high school football, it doesn't really do much for me. But this game, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really good game with some players that I think you'll see certainly on Saturdays in the fall in the Big Ten, the SEC, and all that stuff. But maybe in the NFL in a few years too.
And you said Peyton. I know he's not going to play because hopefully for them he won't play because.
Listen, I'll tell you. Here's a little inside scoop.
Yeah,
he's probably gonna get in.
Oh, because if it's a blowout or
no, I think they're gonna play him. Like just get him some action. He's a freshman. Yeah. So Marshall Manning is a freshman at the Baylor School.
Yeah,
Peyton Manning's youngest son.
Yeah,
and he's a player. I mean, he's gonna be a big time player. He's only like about 6'1", 180, but he's 15.
Yeah, he's a freshman. I mean,
he's a kid. I mean, he's just getting better and better. How about this, dude? The coaches were telling us yesterday that Peyton comes to practice all the time.
Yeah,
and will go out and like works with the quarterbacks. Yeah, and like throws routes with the wide receivers.
Oh,
Peyton Manning.
God,
Peyton Manning.
That's awesome.
He's going to be at the game tonight, which is pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, good luck. What time's the broadcast?
We are 8:00 on ESPN2.
Nice. All right, we
may get moved around a little bit because the Little League World Series has a bunch of rain in Williamsport, but so we'll see. But either way, we're scheduled for 8:00 on ESPN2.
All right, have a good call tonight.
Thanks, man.
And by the way, next week the Bull and Fox bullpen editions are going to move starting next week. We're moving Monday and Wednesday, same time, 2:00, but Monday and Wednesday instead of Tuesday and Thursday, which I know is better for your schedule. So that's
yes, sir.
So we'll be doing that Monday and Wednesday. Zach Jackson will be on Thursdays here and working on some other things as well. Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. Thanks to Levi and Alex for producing. I'm having a brain freeze. I almost called Levi Lexi. I have no idea why, and I shouldn't have admitted that. But it's my niece's name, and I was like, Ellie. I don't know what the hell's happening with me. Anyway, have a good call tonight. Love you all, folks. Man. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Bull and Fox, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.